what's up? It's Team MBL. I'm Music by Lucas.
And Lauren Z. Ray, and we're here in Tokyo.
If you want to know what we're up to while we're traveling, you can check out this week's vlog on Lauren's IGTV. So today, my remix is officially out on Armada Music. I'm really pumped because this is my first release on Armada, so check it out. Here's a clip.
To celebrate the release of this track, Lucas is going to do a walkthrough. He's going to show you how he made the remix, the way his process is, that sort of thing, so you guys can take a look and maybe it'll help you on the next track or remix that you make.
Alright, so here is my remix session. I work in Logic Pro, but I'm going to make this make sense for any DAW. It really doesn't matter because when you're making a remix, you receive the stems from the original artist, and then you use those and then add your own stuff to it. Like in this case, he sent me all the stems, Sunny Bass, and I only ended up using actually the vocal and the clap and a few of the drum loops, like the fills and stuff like that. But everything else I added myself, like brand new melody. I actually pitch bended the vocal up and just kind of added all my own like other effects and transitional stuff, and that's what I'm going to go over. So that's one thing I always pretty much do is pitch bend my vocals, whether I'm getting them like for a remix or from Splice. So with this song, the original vocal sounded like this.
We had fun while it lasted for a month or two.
And so I just searched for a different pitch, and in Logic it's pretty easy. You can just use the transpose feature and type in if you want it to go up like 3 semitones, whatever, and in this case plus 3 semitones was the best, I thought.
We had fun while it lasted for a month or two.
I just think it sounds kind of cool, like a little bit more mysterious, a little bit more dreamy, which was kind of the effect that I was going for, because it goes really well with my style, which is like future house and trance, future trance, those two genres mixed together. And then I just added CLA vocals on top, and I used just a little bit of reverb and delay just to again add to that like dreaminess, that kind of mystery vibe. And the next thing I want to talk about is using weird samples. So I don't know if you use Splice or not, or where you get your samples from, but when I search on Splice for samples, I don't just search like future house and then like the newest packs. I always try to find like weird stuff, especially vocal effects, and I find that it makes the track sound more like original and unique. Like for the build up, which sounds like this. I have this really kind of interesting cinematic effect in the background, which you may not really be able to hear because it's not that loud, but it adds to it. It almost sounds like a movie trailer, like Batman or something. I have a second one in there too, which sounds like this. And they just add this little background effect to it, so I'll play it again. And then I have a tonal effect which adds to the vibe too, which sounds like this. I found this one just by searching effects. I didn't like select a particular genre because I didn't want to leave out different styles on Splice, like cinematic or stuff like that. I didn't want to just focus on one genre. I wanted to leave it open. And so I found that cool tonal effect, and that actually added a lot to the drop, because if you listen to the drop, I kind of use that sample as like a background, like a top melody kind of thing. Yeah, and I added kickstart to it and did some EQing, and boom, there it is, like an extra little part. And I always like to really focus on the transitions. Every time I have like a 8-bar transition, I'll do like some reverse sweeps or reverse vocal effects or reverse crashes, and then on the next 8 bars starting, I'll add a crash, I'll add an impact, maybe a sub dive, maybe start some kind of percussion. So it's all about just kind of like adding energy every 8 bars and really emphasizing those transitions so that it feels like the audience is along for the ride, because the transition is what makes people feel like they're going to keep listening. It's what makes them feel like they're not getting bored of the track, because they're like, okay, next part, next part. Because as you know, people have a short attention span, and so if you don't do something to hook them in or take them along for the ride or grab them, then they're going to want to move on to the next song, or they're going to be like, cool track, man, that's nice, like, yeah, great job, and they're not going to be like, I need to hear every second of this. And the next thing I want to go over is the melody, because in this track, as well as a bunch of my tracks, I keep the same melody throughout the song. So it's the same melody on the break as it is on the drop. This, I think, adds to the kind of trancey feel because it's letting the melody like really get you into like a state of trance. Like it's really having you get soaked into it. But the thing is that it can get really repetitive if you don't know how to do some different techniques to keep the melody sounding original and fresh. So what I do is when the break is happening, the vocal is the focus. It's not the melody. So people aren't really like, their attention isn't going to get tired too quick because they're focused on the vocal, and then on the drop the melody really comes out. The melody really like takes over, and so it feels like it's fresh, it feels like it's new. And the way that I do that is I filter down the high frequencies on the melody on the break so that the vocal can stand out, because if you don't filter down the frequencies, and then you're going to have this competition kind of thing happen where the listener doesn't know what to pay attention to, because you have the melody fighting for space and you have the vocal fighting for space. So even if you're not using the same melody throughout the track, it is a good tip just to filter it down a bit because you can hear the difference. Also, you can use a different type of preset or sound for your break that's more tame or more chill than you do on the drop. Like this is what I do here. It's the same melody you'll hear, but it's more of like a plucky kind of sound in the beginning. And then on the drop, it's much bigger like this. So it's all about like letting that melody come into its own, epicness on the drop. Is like, just take your time and let it develop. On the build-up, add more to it. Also, if you look at the automation, I like to automate the cutoff as well as different things to make it grow, the sound to grow. So in this case, I have the cutoff really far down in the beginning of the track because, again, I want the melody to be kind of small in the beginning and not the focus. But then towards the end of the build-up, I have it opening up. And what that does is it just gives your melody more character. It gives it more texture. It makes it come to life. So if you haven't ever automated your cutoff or automated a filter or done anything like that, check it out, try it out. It works really well. Finally, I want to talk about the arrangement of the track because there's particular things I did on purpose to try to keep, again, the listener listening and excited, and also to keep that groove going and not lose any energy. So the first thing I want to point out is that the first drop is shorter than the second drop. And the reason for that is because I wanted to get right to the second break, and I also wanted to make it so on the second drop there was more to look forward to, there was more to listen to. So I wanted to make the second drop bigger because I wanted the song to kind of like go out with a bang and make a bigger impact at the end. And right after the first drop on the second break, I keep the energy going by having a top loop in there, keeping the rhythm going, keeping the drums going, and not letting all the energy disappear, because it takes a long time to build that energy up for the listener, and so you don't want, or for people dancing, and you don't want to lose that energy. So check out the transition here. See, so continuing the energy going, and the same thing on the second build-up. I've added more energy than the first build-up. I added some parts of the vocal that weren't on the first build-up that add more energy. Like, check it out. And I use Endless Smile as well. If you guys don't use Endless Smile, you should check it out. It's a really cool plugin for your build-ups. It adds like the reverb and some echo and just a whole bunch of things to build up suspense. It takes out a little bit of the low end in the mix so that you can kind of whoosh, and then boom, when the drop hits, you turn off the Endless Smile and let it loose. If you guys are wondering how I write my melodies, I use MIDI keyboard. It's like the only one that will fit in the suitcase, and then I edit the notes in the piano roll. So I'll show you the melody here. So this is the melody, and yeah, like I said, it's like I'm not like an incredible piano player, but I can always edit the notes after, quantize them, make sure they sound like they have a cool swing to them, and so that's what I do. And then layering in different layers, using different stereo imaging. Like if you guys want me to make more videos about my track tutorials, let me know, because I can do it. I talk about stereo imaging actually on my IGTV, so if you haven't seen that video yet, check that out as well. But those are some of the big things that I wanted to go over with you about how I made this remix, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you found this video helpful and that you liked the remix. You can check out the full track at the top of the description. I have the link there, and if you have any follow-up questions, be sure to comment them below.
And if you want to work on one of your tracks, you know, kind of go through a walkthrough of like your track and work on it with Lucas, you can join the producers team. It's our online music school. We do stuff like that. We do like branding, marketing,
Everything
feedbacks.
101.
Oh my gosh, but tons of classes with amazing other artists. It's just kind of a community where everyone gets like
to work on their music together.
Right, and like one-on-one attention, which is really nice in case that's something you're interested in. Also, that info is in the description below.
And head over right now to our after party. It's happening on Discord, and DLMT is our guest host this week. So come hang out
with us, ask us questions, ask him questions. It's all around great time. Go there now, and also
don't forget
like
to
this
like
video
and
though
subscribe.
first, and then go over there.
Hit the bell button so you don't miss out on the premieres and the after parties, and we'll see you next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.